Okay, brilliant. We are here live and just talking about the updates coming in from Israel. So a couple of updates. We got the update from the Temple Institute regarding the red heifers, and there are currently 3 red heifers available, which meet the requirements for purification. Now, basically, from what I was reading, from what I could gather, it could be another 6 months until those red heifers will be able to be sacrificed, as it were, and then turned into ashes, and then they would be able to be used for the purification. Now, it's interesting because there's a number of Jews that believe that the 10th red heifer, which is the next one in number, will actually be killed by the Messiah, their Messiah, as it were, which we know will be the Antichrist. So if there is indeed a red heifer which does qualify in 6 months' time, that shows us just how close we are indeed to the tribulation period. Now, it's also worth noting that the Temple Institute confirmed that the red heifers that currently meeting the requirements, the 3 of those have not been genetically modified. So they are just pure red heifers born and no genetically modified interference, as it were. And also regarding sacrifices, there was a Jewish organization which has offered financial compensation to anybody that is willing to take a lamb onto the Temple Mount this Passover. If they simply take the lamb onto the Temple Mount and are arrested, they could receive several $100s for that. If they manage to actually sacrifice the lamb on the Temple Mount, then they could receive up to 3,000. I believe it's $3,103 for doing that. Now, of course, they are going to be in trouble because sacrifices on the Temple Mount are not currently allowed. Obviously, progress has been made, not to the extent where sacrifice is allowed on the Temple Mount, but we're seeing closer and closer that the Jews are getting closer and closer to the Temple Mount with the sacrifices. So we are seeing some allowance there, but it would take the Israeli government plus those who currently control the Temple Mount to agree to sacrifices, which who knows how that's going to go down or how that's going to happen to allow this to happen. But we do know that a third temple does need to be in place in order for them to do that as well. And somehow someone's going to have to allow for a third temple, and we'll see. It could any number of reasons or ways that this could happen. Now, it's interesting because we obviously Passover is right here, and also we've got Christians that know their Bible, that know Revelation. We're looking for the return of Yeshua, the rapture, to be taken. And you've got the Muslims that are in the month of Ramadan, and also we're seeing more and more terror attacks on the Israelis during this month. And in response to the organization, which said they would offer financial compensation for anyone that sacrifices a lamb on the Temple Mount, Hamas has now said that if that actually does happen, there will be repercussions for Israel. So there's a lot of heightened tensions right now, and a lot of potential for things to explode. Now, I think it's worth noting that we know that our time is near. We know that soon Yeshua will come back to take us home. He will come back to meet us in the clouds and rapture his bride so that we can be there with him for the wedding feast. And that is something that we look forward to. That's why it tells us to look up, for our redemption draws near, because it does indeed draw near. Now, we don't know the time, we don't know the hour, we don't know the day in which Jesus will return, but we can know the times and we can know the seasons, and we can see what's happening around us. We can see the various things which are prophesied coming into place, and so it is just a matter of time before it all kicks off and we're taken out of here. So, with all that said and done, it's going to be it's possibly going to be an eventful weekend with what's happening with the Passover, and also that coinciding with the month of Ramadan, and what with the sacrificial compensation that is being offered for the sacrificed lamb if it does occur on the Temple Mount. I know that within the news reports there were, I believe it was 3 Israelis that have been arrested whom were going to attempt to indeed sacrifice a lamb on the Temple Mount. So it's possible it could happen, or at least, it could be, if someone were to get on the Temple Mount with a lamb, that could be enough to cause some trouble. Time will tell. But yeah, I appreciate you tuning in. Obviously, got to make it a short update this time around, but we'll be back soon, and have a blessed weekend.